Boy, just had the pleasure of having an extremely intriguing conversation about hair with Judy Battista live with us in Foxborough, Kim Jones live in Florham Park. But guys, I think late 90s Belichick wins the day. I don't know if you guys were able to see that. That was pretty impressive flow there.
Absolutely, Red. He does. And for the record, we were talking about your hair,
Red. Right. Exactly. I just had to make sure everything was in place. Guys, let's talk about the AFC East here a little bit. The Patriots obviously have been kings of the division for the last 7 years as AFC East champs, but now with Tom Brady, of course, serving that 4-game suspension, and the Jets got so close a year ago, Kim, with Todd Bowles in his first year. Is there a sense within that organization that they feel like they are closing the gap on the Patriots?
I think the emphasis right here, right now, Rhett, and this won't surprise you, is that the Jets are looking to improve what they're doing. David Harris, a leader and linebacker for the New York Jets, said today, that's what we do here in New York. We play defense, and that's never going to change. And what he was referring to was the Jets' defense ranked very highly last year in its first year under Todd Bowles. It looks to be younger and faster, particularly at that linebacker position. This year, as we know, Muhammad Wilkerson now back in the fold. Long-term Leonard Williams going into his second year. So, Judy, if there's a way the Jets can catch up to these Patriots, to me it's going to be with a dominant defense. And then, well, there's the Jets quarterback situation. But for these purposes, Judy, the defense for the Jets conceivably could lead them.
I agree with you, Kim. I think it's a detriment to the Jets that they don't face the Patriots during that 4-game stretch that Brady is going to be out. That's obviously an opening for everybody, although I do wonder how the Jets can possibly feel settled if they don't get their own quarterback situation settled. I look around the division, though, and I don't see a whole lot of teams that have made big leaps. And maybe more importantly, looking at it from the other side, I don't see the Patriots coming back to the pack at all. Yeah, the 4 games without Brady maybe gives everybody an opening. But when you look at that schedule, do you see them going any worse than 2-2?
Yeah.
And then you get Tom Brady back for 12 games. And let's face it, they could run off the next 12 wins once Brady is back. So I don't know, Kim, if I see them giving up any of the lead they've had now for more than a decade.
Well, Judy, I can't believe that Bill Belichick did not just lay out the blueprint to get back to the AFC East Championship there for you today. But I know that the Bills and the Dolphins are working on that blueprint as well, trying to get to the top of this division. Year 2 with Rex Ryan for the Bills, the first year for Adam Gase. You guys cover this division so much, Kim. I'll start with you here. What do you get? You get the sense that the Bills and Dolphins have done enough to really compete for the top spot in this division?
I'm not sure that I do as we stand here at the end of July, Red. With the Dolphins, I think you nailed it with the Adam Gase hire under a new coach. What are the Dolphins able to do under Gase with him leading and the Ryan Tannehill development now with Adam Gase as his head coach? With the Buffalo Bills, I go back to Week 17, Judy, and they showed me something in Week 17, beating a Jets team when the Jets were playing for a playoff berth. The Bills were playing for quote-unquote nothing, and they really played hard and won that game in Orchard Park. So I do wonder year 2 under Rex Ryan if not only the Bills' defense, but the Bills as a whole don't take a step forward, Judy.
I agree with you. And unlike the Jets, Kim, the Bills do play the Patriots during that 4-game stretch without Brady. So this is an enormous opportunity for them to gain some ground on the Patriots. Like you, I want to see more out of that defense. It really struggled last year. We talked about it all of last season about how the defense was struggling. If Rex Ryan can improve that defense, the offense I thought was surprisingly good last year, better than I think most of us anticipated it was going to be. But I think we have to see that right out of the gate when they play the Patriots. That's going to be an early indicator if they have made up ground on the Patriots.
You know, I think we always see that excitement with Rex Ryan in Buffalo, just that mentality that he brings to the field, and we see it when we have him wired up. I tell you what, we showed a wired of Adam Gase yesterday. That got me fired up, and I think there's some real excitement there in Miami as well for what he can do with Ryan Tannehill. But from the Patriots' perspective here, Judy, and I know they are a do-your-job team. They are a let's worry about today and not tomorrow. But from what you've observed there and what you've been hearing, where do you get the sense that they are in terms of AFC contenders this year?
Oh, I think they're still right at the top, Rhett. I think the schedule works favorably for them that they have three of the four games without Brady at home. That is an enormous break for them. Look, they opened the season on the road in Arizona on that first Sunday night. That's a tough game, even if Tom Brady is playing in it. But again, even if they come out of this 2-2, even if they come out of it 1-3, and then you get Brady back, it's conceivable they win the 12 games with Tom Brady. You have to look around the rest of the AFC. I don't think any of the other AFC top teams have improved. The Steelers have suspension issues. I think we would have looked at them as a real contender. It's hard for me to think that anybody has gained so much ground on the Patriots that a team that was yards away from beating the Broncos in the AFC Championship game has really come back to the pack all that much.
And Judy, as you know, 2-2 is a blueprint for the Patriots to not only get back to the Super Bowl, but to win it. We've seen that happen. And Rhett, you started this segment by talking about hair. Tom Brady in Week 5, hair on fire, Tom Brady. And we all know how dangerous that is to not only the rest of the AFC, but often the rest of the league.
Yeah, just in case there was anybody out there that was wondering who would start that Week 5 game, regardless of what happened in those first four, Bill Belichick came out really unprompted, right, Judy, and just laid that to rest. Tom Brady will be the starter Week 5.
Yeah, he cleared that up for all of us in case anybody was asking if Tom might lose his job. Not going to lose
Judy,
his job.
who was wondering? Who was wondering?
You just want a preemptive
There were
strike
people on
that.
Twitter. I read them.
Kim Jones live with us in Florham Park. Judy Batista in Foxborough. Pleasure talking AFC East. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, I head just a little bit south to Florham Park, New Jersey, where we find Kim Jones. And boy, Kim, the Jets getting started here, and it's been really the topic of the offseason there in Florham Park and throughout the NFL. No Ryan Fitzpatrick. How do the Jets feel about opening camp without the guy who opened the season as their starter a year ago?
Well, Rhett, they certainly can't be surprised because we have been talking about this literally since the beginning of free agency and possibly even before that. So status quo in terms of Fitzpatrick's absence. It was interesting when veteran running back Matt Forte, a first-year Jet, said in answering a reporter's question about Fitzpatrick, those questions are for Todd Bowles. They told me to tell you all that. So clearly from the Jets organization to the players, it sounds like the head coach is going to be the one to talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick and choose how he now speaks of Ryan Fitzpatrick. We did not hear from Bowles today, Rhett. We anticipate hearing from him tomorrow as the Jets hold their first practice.
And with his defensive background, we'll, of course, be keeping a close eye on that Jets defense. One that would love to have Muhammad Wilkerson available as soon as possible. But, of course, after suffering that broken leg in the final game of the 2015 season, I know there's still some question marks there. What's the story with Wilkerson so far?
I bet Bowles is simply thrilled to have Wilkerson under contract, long-term contract, and presumably a happy Muhammad Wilkerson. Wilkerson himself said on a conference call after the contract was announced, he will be ready for Week 1. And Rhett, I would imagine, and I'm sure that you would understand this, a veteran like that, he knows how to get himself ready for the season. He has been running. He has been updating on social media his progress in rehab. He was rehabbing at this Jets facility in the offseason. So it's not like they're just getting their first look at Wilkerson. So whether he starts the year on the training camp, I should say, on the PUP list or not, we likely won't hear that news until we do hear from Bowles tomorrow. But Wilkerson says he'll see them in Week 1. They would settle for a late training camp arrival for Wilkerson as long as he's ready to start the season.
Yeah, I saw some of that rehab video posting there in that anti-gravity treadmill. Sounds like Muhammad Wilkerson will be on his way back to 100% here shortly. Kim Jones live for us there in Florham Park. Kim, thanks very much. Let's head